If we want to, here was the great, trick of the ego or the devil, was to trick us into thinking that it didn't exist. The adversary's greatest move was that it gave us its mind. And we're dreaming from its point of view. And when we're dreaming from its point of view, we can't see it. And we can't see it behind the terms of I and myself, because we're like, oh, I am addicted. I love to suffer. I get so angry. I beat myself up. And so there's nobody else here doing this but me. There's no adversary. And so this great trick of the devil was to hide himself in our mind and disguise it in the story as I and me. And now, if it's me, I don't see it as the mind, ego mind, telling stories and tricking me into a story to continue to play victim and suffer and anger and judge, right? So, good. This is really on point, because it's one of the things you were describing, Kimberly, was one of the things, oh, I'll just go work harder, right? And this will compensate for the not good enough, unworthiness, stupidity, shame. If I work harder, do more, be better, I can reach the good enough, feel good about myself feeling. And so hard work, hard work, hard work. But of course, this thing is always chasing us, huh? We go to take a day off, we take an afternoon off. Oh, I should have done this, I should have done it. This thing is chasing us more and more and more and more and more. We haven't dealt with the feeling that we're trying to escape from. Yeah? So, this is the monster we're scared of inside. It's called an emotion. It's a feeling inside. It's like, we don't want to feel terrible. We don't want to deal with it. How did we deal with it? Well, we controlled mom, we controlled dad, we worked harder on ourselves, we became perfect, exercise, school, whatever. Better lover, better cook, better grades, pleased more people, made them happy, so we got positive feedback instead of negative feedback, right? Ooh, all the good enough rules of the judge of what we're supposed to be and should be. Follow the rules that everybody else gave us, be what they want. The rules, remember? Comparison we're avoiding. That comparison I talked to, the judge can say, always can make the bar a little higher. We'll never escape. We'll never be good enough. And I did it in the podcast, first podcast, I'm not good enough, right? If I could walk on water, if I could be like Christ and heal the sick, would that change that feeling, that story inside? I was like, no, son of a bitch, that wouldn't be it. If I cured everybody of cancer, that judge would be in there saying, you should have done it sooner. You should have come up with it earlier. I was like, that son of a bitch does not want me to feel good about myself. Why? Because it's telling me this is our protective strategy. Working harder and being more perfect, better is a way to avoid the pain, but it's not even aware that it's like that there's another option. What else can we do with the pain? What else can we do with that feeling? And you're on the right track. How do we sit with it, right? First, notice it's there, turn towards it, go, oh, this is here. I was thinking about this call, and so it's a little segue here. All the big villains, they have pain they haven't dealt with. Okay. Darth Vader, right? Poor Anakin Skywalker, a little boy separated from his mother. He was without that love and nurturing. Could be all the brilliance and the best Jedi, and but he never felt safe and nurtured and cared about. That he was enough the way he was. Felt unsafe and scared, alone in the world, and acted it out. Voldemort, painful childhood, right? We see it in our big archetype evil story characters. But you can also see it in Putin. If you knew about his childhood, he grew up being bullied, beat up. So what did he do? He took up martial arts and judo, and he could beat up and he could be the bully, right? And why does he have to go send his army out beyond his borders? Because he's afraid and he sees threats out there. Why? Because he's afraid. He hasn't dealt with his fear and his pain. And the shooters that go shoot up schools and people in public. Oh, Daniel Royce and the Joker. That story of the Joker and Joaquin Phoenix. Great example of people's pain not being healed and coming out with anger. And these teenagers that shoot up or adults who go shooting mass shootings, there's always childhood pain. It's a common element, some kind of traumatized experience. There's a hurt child underneath the Voldemort and the Darth Vader and our demon and our judge. And their plan is we have to do this so that we can protect the child. It's not really protecting the child. The child's fine. Child's a dream inside of us. But if we're lost in that dream, those emotions are misinterpreted as the enemy's outside. Okay. So those are traditional ways of protecting ourselves. Where we're lost in the identity of the demon, dream. And I'll use that word demon, or why not? Let's take it away from some thing to be scared of, instead of let's own it as a dream. Okay, because it could be the victim, it could be the judge, it could be anger. Those are less scary terms. That's what it is. It's energy of emotion that pushes our behavior. Whether it's to exaggerate victimhood, exaggerate judgment of ourselves, others, anger at ourselves, trying to be good enough, working harder. This is the storm. But it doesn't address what's the pain. Where is that hurt emotion? We call it inner child, because that's when it happened, and there's a memory usually of a child. Sitting with parents telling us we're not enough and that the solution is to work harder. And what is that? That's a lie. Because covering up the emotion with work doesn't heal the wound. It adds a lie over the top of the lie. The first lie is you're not enough. The second lie is go work harder, and that's the solution. And we're so busy working harder, we don't notice The first lie is I'm not enough. So what if you have a conversation that goes to the core of this with your characters that are holding that story, and you let them know that's not true? And what if you have a process to here, let's take the emotion you're holding with that story, let's take the story away, and let's let this emotion go. And we breathe it out. Oh, you got to be with the emotion. Separate the emotion from the story, let it go, breathe it, send it to the earth, recapitulation. Ah, but now there's guardians at the gates of this process that say, no, 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 no. We need that pain to remind us. No, 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 don't let that go. We need that anger to protect us. No, 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 no. We need that judge to control other people with criticism, mom and dad, and anybody else who might show up. We need these things as protection. So as you look to go down this other road, to like, let's heal. The adversary is still afraid. It wants to stop you from healing. Not because it wants you to suffer more, but because it's like, this is safety, this is control, this is what we do, and this is all I know. And all of its stories are more lies, as if it's the only option possible. And I feel like this is the last 12 months. Breathe, relax. Notice the perfection that's supposed to be the safety. Have distance from the judge. Okay? Question the fears. Put them at bay. Separate from the story. Love and accept myself no matter what. This past year is like, here it is, all bundled together. Does that make sense? Yeah. And you've been the hero on this journey, doing all of this, taking it apart, moving the pieces aside. Ah. And then here becomes the move to do it all at once. You see, you were the child, and the guardian angel came and gave you these protective strategies. But they became so heavy, it fell into suffering. But you as consciousness grew out of that. And now you as consciousness can see that's a dream of stories. And this fallen angel that was put together this protective strategy to save you so that you could grow up and be an adult and function in the adult world. Now you have to go back and you save it. Because your emotional health is intertwined your future is intertwined with your inner demons. You can only go as far in your healing and your freedom and your love as you are willing to bring that love to all of these hurt histories of yourself. Being the parent, as Sean writes, yes. Taking responsibility for our creation. This is the dream of our characters. This is a dream of our guardian angel, our ego mind we've created. And it's our creation. We are God. We are the creator of these stories, of these habits, of these emotions. We have invested our faith in them. We've given life to them. They're our child. Our childhood stories are our stories we've given our life to. We are their parent. And our stories, our children, our characters are hurting. And so the journey. And you may need to bring in a resource. You may need to bring in me, Christ. Not that that's the same thing. Okay. Your grandmother who loved you unconditionally. A childhood friend, somebody who's like, you know what, they love me no matter what. Your dog, that dog loves me. You take a resource, an ally with you, and you journey into that world of all the dreams of her children. And you say, yeah, I know what your mom told you. You needed to work harder. But let's straighten that story out, your 5-year-old. Forget what she said. This thing about you not being enough, it's not true. You are enough. You're a human being in this world, in this divine creation, and that's enough. That tree over there is enough. It's enough of a tree. The flower over there is enough, and the bird and the cloud and the rainstorm and the weed is enough. And every cat and dog and mouse and rat and bear and raccoon, they're enough. And every human being is enough of a human being. They're enough. And the individual parts of these stories we created, we're enough too. And we love and accept you no matter what. And that is the message of the angel that's been redeemed to deliver back to your own dream, your own self. And all the protector parts that are trying to prevent you from doing that. Is it clear?